Welcome to Nightfall Horrors 002. They say Hollow Creek Highway doesn't exist on any normal map, but every driver who's ever found it says the same thing. A little girl in a white dress standing in the middle of the road. A warning sign that says, "Do not stop," and a voice on the radio whispering things no one else should hear. I was just making a delivery that night until I stopped for her. That's when the road changed and something started riding with me. Something that never lets you turn back, because on Hollow Creek Highway, you don't find the road finds you. I never believed in haunted roads until that night on Hollow Creek Highway. It was somewhere deep in rural West Virginia where the GPS stops making sense and the trees feel too close together, like they're watching you drive through. I was driving alone, late shift delivery, nothing unusual, just another night on empty American roads. But that one stretch of Highway 84 felt different. The radio started cutting out first. Not static, not signal loss. Whispers, soft, broken, like people talking right next to the microphone, but no one was in the car with me. I turned it off. That's when I noticed the first sign. A wooden roadside board, old, half-rotten, barely visible under the headlights. It said, "Do not stop for the child on the road." I laughed nervously, thought it was some local prank. Then I saw her, a little girl, standing in the middle of the highway, barefoot, white dress, not moving, just staring at my truck. I slammed the brakes so hard the tires screamed against the asphalt. My heart was pounding. I leaned forward, trying to see better. "Hey, are you okay?" I shouted through the windshield. No response, just silence. And then she smiled, but something was wrong with it. It wasn't a child's smile. It stretched too wide, too still, like it didn't belong on a human face. I reached for my phone to call someone. No signal. Of course. I looked back up. She was closer now. Impossibly closer. Like she didn't walk. She just appeared. My chest tightened. I locked the doors instinctively, and then she tapped the hood of my truck. Tap. 3 slow knocks, like she was asking permission. I don't know why, but I looked down, just for a second, and when I looked back up, the girl wasn't there anymore, but my headlights were still on. And in the beam of light, I saw footprints walking toward my driver door, barefoot, getting closer. And that's when something whispered right next to my ear, inside the cabin.
The last road on Hollow Creek Highway. That whisper inside my cabin. You stopped. I froze so hard I couldn't even breathe properly. My eyes stayed locked on the driver's side mirror. Nothing. No girl, no movement, just the empty road behind me, stretching into darkness like it had no end. I told myself it was stress, fatigue, late-night paranoia. But then, knock, knock, knock. This time it wasn't on the hood, it was on the driver door. Slow, patient, like whatever was outside knew I couldn't escape. I didn't move, I didn't even blink. And then the door handle started to lift very slowly, like a child trying to open it. My hand shot to the lock, twisting it again and again, even though it was already locked. The handle stopped. Silence returned. For maybe 3 seconds, then I heard it again, but not from outside, from the back seat. A soft voice, right behind me. You looked at me. My entire body went numb. I didn't turn around. I couldn't, because I already knew whatever was in my truck, it wasn't getting in. It was already there. I slowly reached for the rearview mirror, against every instinct in my body, and I saw it. Not the little girl. Something worse. Same white dress, but wrong. Like it was wearing the idea of a child, not the shape of one. Its face kept shifting, sometimes blank, sometimes smiling, sometimes completely empty, like there was nothing behind it at all. And its eyes were just reflections of my own headlights. It leaned forward slightly and whispered again. You weren't supposed to stop. My foot slammed the gas pedal without thinking. The truck lurched forward, tires spinning on wet asphalt. But the road didn't change. No matter how fast I drove, the trees stayed the same distance. The darkness didn't move. It was like I was driving inside a tunnel that kept rebuilding itself ahead of me. I checked the GPS. No signal. Just a single message on the screen that I swear wasn't there before. Hollow Creek Highway. No exit. My breathing turned into panic. I looked back at the mirror again. The thing was gone. Relief hit me for half a second until I realized the passenger seatbelt was now fastened, slowly tightening by itself. Click. And then the radio turned on again. But this time there were no whispers, just one clear voice, calm, close, right in my ear. Drive as long as you want. You already turned around. That's when I saw it. Ahead of me, the same wooden sign again, the same words. Do not stop for the child on the road. Except this time, under it, freshly carved into the wood, was a second line I didn't see before. Or she stays with you. And far in the headlights, a barefoot figure stood again, waiting, smiling. But this time, she wasn't in the road. She was standing inside the headlight's beam, like she was part of them. And she raised her hand and waved, like she was welcoming me back.
This video is over, but the story isn't, because Nahid Hassan was never found. And if your phone turns on by itself tonight, just know you've been chosen. Subscribe to Nightfall Horrors